As I stated before, the lawyer and Botham's parents heard the 911 tape, and the mother has come out within the last hour to respond. My prayers go out to this family because they are going through such a tough time. And for them to hear their son dying, because you can literally hear him in the background as Amber Geiger was talking to 911, it was disgusting. And she is saying exactly what I said when I initially heard the tape. I played it twice and then I played it another time. And it's almost like each time I play it, I pick something else up, you know? So in 911 call, Amber Geiger worried more about losing her job than my son, Botham John's mother says. And she's right. That's exactly the impression I got. So this came out actually an hour ago, April 30th, 2019. The frantic 911 call that Amber Geiger made after she shot Botham John in his own Dallas apartment did nothing to shake his family's belief that the Dallas police officer murdered him. In fact, John's mother told the Dallas Morning News on Tuesday that hearing Geiger's plea for help as John moans, takes his final breath, made her more certain than ever. Me too. Me too. I was not swayed by it at all. I saw straight through what Amber Geiger was doing. And please come to the hangout tonight because we're going to be analyzing everything that happened, including the 911 video. The call made me strengthen my view that Amber Geiger is a cold blooded killer because she was more concerned about losing her job than my son, the value of my son. Allison John said, she does not sound like she was trying to help him at all. She wasn't. She didn't even give him first aid. Geiger, 30, was off duty, but still in uniform September 6th when she shot and killed John in his apartment in the Cedars, not far from Dallas Police Headquarters. In fact, Bunny said Botham could literally look out of his window and see the police station. That's how close it was. Not even 2 minutes away from that apartment building. John, a 26-year-old accountant, was watching football on his couch when Geiger entered. In the 911 recording obtained by WFAA TV, Channel 8, Geiger says over and over that she thought the apartment was hers. She told police the same thing. A law enforcement official told the news in the days after the shooting that Geiger called 911 in tears. The official said Geiger repeatedly said, "I thought I was in my apartment," and apologized to John. "I'm an off duty officer. I thought I was in my apartment and I shot a guy he was thinking it was my apartment," Geiger tells the police dispatcher. Geiger lived directly below John at the Southside Flats apartment. And remember, she complained about him multiple times. So she was fully aware that he was right above her. And if she filed all those complaints, she knew what his name was. She kept calling him Bud. Okay, she had to know who he was because she kept filing all these noise complaints. And the amazing thing, nobody else was complaining about the noise except for Amber Geiger. "I'm going to lose my job," she says after the dispatcher tells her that help is on the way. She repeatedly talked about losing her job during the phone call. "I'm done. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to." Dallas Police Chief Renee Hall fired Geiger on September 24th. Yeah, after public outcry, Renee Hall is a coon. That was the same day John was buried in a cemetery by the sea in St. Lucia, the Caribbean island where he grew up and hoped to return to run for prime minister. Okay, Dallas attorney George Milner III said the 911 call is a win for Geiger. This is her attorney. He frequently defended police officers accused of breaking the law, but is not involved in Geiger's case. Bottom line, Milner said it's helpful for her. And you know what? It's to get public sympathy, especially if it's going to be a predominantly white jury, because you know this country still loves the all white jury. Milner said the call supports her statement to law enforcement that she thought she was in her own apartment. A defense to the murder charge can be that Geiger made a mistake of fact when she killed Jean. No, she knew where Jean lived. She filed numerous complaints against him. So the very person that she's been complaining about, she kills. I'm telling y'all, it's not a coincidence. But said that if he represented Geiger, he'd wish she hadn't told the police dispatcher so much. It's probably unhelpful that she was talking about losing her job at that point, he said. Really, that was very inappropriate. She should have been concerned about the man that she shot. She should have just said, I'm an off duty officer. I've been involved in a shooting, given the address, and hung up. Milner said it's difficult to believe Geiger came up with a story to tell the police in such a short amount of time. Saying so much, he said, makes her story about thinking she was in her own apartment more believable. None of the charges, the fact that Botham John is dead, and he shouldn't be, Milner said. Both Geiger's attorneys and the Dallas County District Attorney's Office declined to comment about the tape. State District Judge Tammy Kemp issued a gag order preventing prosecutors and Geiger's defense attorneys from speaking about the case. Before the gag order, one of Geiger's attorneys, Robert Rogers, said Geiger is completely devastated by what happened and described the shooting as a tragic mistake. No, it was no mistake. Dallas Police Association Mike Mata also declined to comment Tuesday, although he's spoken on Geiger's behalf in the past. Shortly after the shooting, Mata called Geiger a young, dedicated officer who has done an amazing, I don't want to hear all that crap. Yeah, according to them, everybody is doing an amazing job. Get the hell out of here with that crap. So, the Dallas Police Department issued a statement Tuesday saying the department opened an internal affair investigation into the release of the 911 recording. The department said it had not authorized its release because the Texas Attorney General allowed authorities to withhold it because of a pending criminal investigation. Okay, Lee Merritt, an attorney for the John family, said the public already knew the contents of the 911 call because of prior reporting by the news. The recording, he said, does not clear Geiger of murder allegations or change perceptions of the case. It's still murder, he said. No one ever claimed she didn't end up at the wrong apartment accidentally. No one ever seriously said she had sinister intentions in going to the apartment. Merritt said Geiger did not seem to be trying to save John's life in the recording. She certainly didn't. She didn't say she was trying to stop the bleeding or that she was putting pressure on it, he said. Nor did she say she was giving him first aid. And neither did the 911 operator. They didn't, and both of these people are trained in first aid. They didn't even suggest, hey, does he have a pulse? Is he still breathing? Can you give me his approximate age? What does he look like? Where was he shot? Didn't ask no question. They were more interested in listening to Amber Geiger's word salad all over 911. I mean, this whole thing is just blow my mind. All right. Lee Merritt said the 911 lacks key information about why Geiger shot John. She didn't say John charged at her or that she feared for her life. She sure didn't. She sure didn't say none of that on the tape. Merritt said that's likely what Geiger and her attorneys will say at trial at an attempt to justify her actions. Of course they will. Allison John told the news that the call refutes Geiger's later claim to police that she thought John was a burglar who gave her a reason to fire her service weapon. She never said she was afraid or that he charged her, Allison John said. She never said she thought he was a burglar. She sure didn't. Allison John said she heard the emergency call Wednesday morning on Good Morning America. She is in Washington, D.C. for work-related meetings for her job as the CEO of St. Lucia National Utilities Regulatory Commission. Hearing the 911 call, she said, has taken her back emotionally. Okay, sorry about that. Has taken her back emotionally to where she was last year, immediately after the shooting. I knew it would, because you can hear him, and it's a shame. It's terrible, she said. It's really heart-wrenching. Her husband, Bartram John, listened to the call on his phone at work in St. Lucia and became so upset, she said, that someone had to take away his phone. Wow. Allison John said both her and her husband kept working Tuesday, even as they struggled to cope with what they heard. For us, work is a good distraction, she said. Had the recording not been made public, the call would have likely been played publicly for the first time at Geiger's trial. Prosecutors or defense attorneys will likely now play it again for the jury. Families of the victims sometimes leave the courtroom at those moments to avoid becoming too emotional in court. Allison John said she will listen again in court because she needs to witness the entire trial to represent her son's memory in court. I don't know how I would react, but I am ready to stand for Botham, she said. If it means having to stomach very difficult evidence, I will. As painful as it is, I will listen. That's a mother that really loves her son. Ladies and gentlemen, my heart goes out to Botham's family. I really ache for them, especially after hearing the tape. But please tell me what you think about this article. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.